here's how it will work. Basically, there's about a 5-minute, it's a little less than 5-minute video of a staged student meeting, sort of a mock meeting. And then following that, there are 20 multiple choice questions. And as we'll display each of those, you'll be able to see, for multiple choice, and then I'll show you the answer. And what I've done is I've added in some text with the RONR references. Hopefully this will help us a little bit. So what we're going to do first here is the audio and video, about 4.5 minutes of this meeting. So here we go.
The September meeting of the Maple City High School National Honor Society will come to order. The first item of business on our agenda is the reading of the minutes from our August meeting. Mr. Secretary, would you please read the minutes?
The August 30th, 2017 meeting of the Maple City High School NHS was called to order by President Smith at 3:15 p.m. in the Maple City High School Commons. The minutes of the May 2017 meeting were read and approved. Treasurer Baker reported the current account balance was $1,256.25. There were no outstanding bills. John Jones moved to hold a Welcome Back to School social event on September 6, 2017. Joe Peterson moved to amend the main motion by adding "at the City Park." Jack White moved to amend the primary amendment by deleting City Park and inserting high school cafeteria. The secondary amendment was lost. The primary amendment was carried. The main motion, as amended, was carried. Bobby Grosclose moved to adjourn the meeting. The motion carried. The meeting adjourned at 3:45 p.m.
Are there any corrections to the minutes? Being no corrections to the minutes stand approved as read.
Parliamentary inquiry.
Member A, state your question.
In reviewing our website, I found an error in the April 2017 minutes. How would I go about correcting it?
Member A, it would be appropriate to use the motion to amend something previously adopted to correct minutes. Would you like to make this motion?
Not at this time. Thank you.
Bill Baker will now present the financial report.
The current account balance is $1,206.25. One bill was paid to ABC Market for $50 for refreshments for the Welcome Back to School social. Madam President.
The financial report has been received and will be filed for audit.
Madam President,
Member A.
I move that the NHS staff the refreshment stand for the high school football game on Friday, October 13th, 2017.
I second. It has been moved and seconded that the NHS staff the refreshment stand for the high school football game on Friday, October 13th, 2017. Member A, would you like to speak to your motion?
Yes, ma'am. Fellow members, please vote yes. We need recognition by the school community and the opportunity to raise financial resources. This motion presents an opportunity to do both. Vote yes.
Request for information.
Member B, state your request.
Who is the opponent of Maple High School on October 13th?
The football schedule indicates that the Happy Valley Lions are the opponent for the Friday, October 13th game. Is there any further discussion?
Madam President.
Member B.
I am strongly against this motion. Member A has made this motion because of her desire to avoid a community service obligation they have been assigned on Friday, October 13th, and they just want to use this as an excuse to get out of that.
Point of order.
State your point.
Member B's debate violates the standards of decorum as they call into question the intentions of the motion maker.
Member C, your point of order is sustained. Member B, please keep in mind the standards of decorum of debate as identified in our Parliamentary Authority Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised. Is there any further discussion? Are you ready for the question?
Madam President.
Member A.
I move that the vote on this motion be a counted vote.
Second.
Has it moved and seconded that we take a counted vote on the motion to staff the refreshment stand? Are there any objections? Seeing none, by unanimous consent, we shall take a counted vote. Is there any further discussion on the made motion to staff a refreshment stand? Seeing none, we shall proceed to vote. All those in favor of the motion to staff a refreshment stand, please rise. Would the Secretary please report 6 in the affirmative? All those opposed, please rise. Would the Secretary please report 3 in the negative? With 6 in the affirmative and 3 in the negative, the motion passes, and our Maple City High School NHS will staff a refreshment stand at the high school football game on Friday, October 13th, 2017.
I would like to give notice that at the October meeting, I will introduce the motion to rescind the previous motion to take a field trip to the state capitol in November.
Thank you. We will record the previous notice. Is there any further business? Seeing none, I now declare this meeting adjourned.
So you'll see basically the question in the top half and the ABCD answers in the bottom half, and then we'll get the actual answers highlighted and go on off to the reference. So here we go with the first question. The meeting observed was the September meeting of the Maple City High School National Honor Society. What type of meeting was it? A special meeting, B, a regular meeting, C, an adjourned meeting, or D, an adjourned regular meeting?
B.
Sounds like it was a regular meeting. So, Robert's Rules of Order does say, the minutes, should state the particular meeting kind, and obviously we take minutes at virtually every meeting. So here comes the second question. The first item of business was the reading of the August 2017 minutes. How could a member propose to forego with the reading of the minutes? So A, it's not possible. The minutes are mandated to be read at the beginning of each meeting. B, the move to suspend the rules with a 2/3 vote to not read the minutes. C, the president can rule that the minutes will not be read. Or D, move to dispense with the reading of the minutes with a majority vote.
D.
D, yeah.
B.
And so here's the reference. If you don't want to basically do it, you can dispense with the reading of the minutes, but that is not a motion to just not read the minutes. They have to have been either electronically distributed beforehand or they're supposed to be read. So question number 3, if the assembly chooses to not listen to and approve the reading of the August 27 minutes at the September meeting, when are those minutes approved? A, at the year-end banquet, that would be nice. B, they are not required to be approved. C, the reading and approval of the August 2017 minutes would be on the agenda at the next regularly scheduled meeting. Or D, at the annual meeting. What's the most popular answer here?
C.
Yep, the reading has to normally go at the next regularly scheduled meeting. There we go. If the minutes are not taken up before adjournment, they're read and approved at the following meeting before the later minutes are taken up. So they're read in oldest order towards the newest order if you end up, as I've had on one occasion, meetings from 3 minutes to approve at one meeting. All right, question 4. Yes?
Can I just ask one question?
Yeah.
If they were sent out electronically, couldn't the president then say, if the minutes were sent out electronically, does anybody have any objections, blah, blah, blah? I mean, I've seen that done.
Yeah, so if they're sent out electronically, and I believe there's a question a little bit further down in here that does kind of talk about that, then, approved as distributed as opposed to approved as read.
Thank you.
Or as corrected and distributed and corrected. So
that is how we do our minutes.
Yeah.
We approve ours. They're always sent out before the meeting.
Right.
So then I always say, are there any corrections to the minutes as distributed? And that's how they are approved.
All right, so question 4 here. In the meeting presented, were the minutes approved in accordance with the parliamentary authority of RONR? A, yes, the minutes can be approved without a formal motion or vote. B, no, a motion to approve the minutes must be passed with a majority vote. C, no, a motion to approve the minutes must be passed with a 2/3 vote. Or D, a motion to approve the minutes must be passed with unanimous consent.
A.
So basically, a formal motion to approve the minutes is not necessary, although the motion's not out of order, and after they've been read or after it has been omitted by unanimous consent, then are there any corrections to the minutes? And if there's nobody offering a correction, then that's basically your unanimous consent right there, and they're approved. Question 5, the first paragraph of the August minutes, and we'll see the full August minutes on a slide here in a bit, but the first paragraph reads, the August 30, 2017 regular meeting of the Maple City High School NHS was called to order by President Smith at 3:15 p.m. in the Maple City High School Commons. A, the paragraph is correctly presented. B, the paragraph is missing the first name of the president. C, the paragraph should not have included the time of the meeting. Or D, the paragraph should have identified and noted that the secretary was present. Yeah, this one took me a little while too. I wasn't entirely sure, but it is D.
Mm-hmm.
And if we go over to page 468, here's the content of the minutes. The first paragraph should have the kind of meeting, the name of the society, date and time of the meeting and place, and the fact that the regular chairman and secretary were present or in their absence, who is substituting for them. All right, so here over on the right is the minutes, and if you're looking at this on an iPhone or something, it'll be kind of small, but if you've got a bigger screen, hopefully you can read it. Which motion of the August 30, 2017 meeting that was included that should not have been? And so we've got A, the main motion to hold a welcome back social event. B, the primary amendment adding at the city park. C, the secondary amendment deleting city park and inserting the high school cafeteria. Or D, the motion to adjourn. Which one of those should not have been included? It's actually C, the secondary amendment. And the reason, if you read over in here, move to amend the secondary amendment by deleting that, the secondary amendment was lost. And so the rule here says secondary motions that were not lost are withdrawn. So the fact that that was actually proposed but wasn't approved means that it doesn't need to be included in the minutes. Any discussion on that? That one I you know, there's a lot of the stuff that I remember reading 6 or 8 months ago, but I hadn't read recently enough to actually go, yeah, I know that. No, I had to think.
That's a good one,
I thought the
though.
motion was supposed to, this is Bonnie.
Yeah.
I thought the motion, as it was written in the minutes, was to be as amended. So you don't list the amendment, the primary amendment, but you incorporate it into the...
At my HOA, for example, we actually have in our standing rules that we don't include the amendments. We only put the text of the motion as it was approved.
Right.
I find that a lot of people, you know, especially homeowners who don't know Robert's rules and that sort of stuff, they get confused by this. And since it's supposed to be a record of decisions made, what was amended and that sort of thing, to me, is not that important. So we do it that way, but it you know, it looks like, you know, Robert's rules does say, you know, the main motion and then the wording in which the motion was adopted should be in there. So I would say, yeah, they probably did not include that part.
I was taught that the motion as amended appears in the minutes, either adopted or lost. We don't put the primary or secondary amendments into the minutes.
Yeah.
It makes it simpler and final.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree. Question 7. In the meeting, the chair responded to the parliamentary inquiry regarding an error found in the 2017 minutes. Did the chair, A, provide a correct opinion to make the motion to amend something previously adopted? B, provided an incorrect opinion, minutes cannot be changed after they're approved? C, provided a somewhat correct opinion, but should have included the fact that the only vote appropriate for the motion is a 2/3 vote? Or D, provided an incorrect opinion, the minutes could have been corrected with a motion to amend the minutes with a majority vote? This one I've actually had to do at my HOA a couple of times before. So it's amend something previously adopted. Once they're approved, later, you're basically amending that approval to have something else done. If the existence of an error or material omission becomes reasonably established after their approval, even many years later, this part was kind of, it's like, yeah, no, we didn't say that back in 2017. The minutes could be corrected by means of a motion to amend something previously adopted, which requires a 2/3 vote or a majority vote with notice, or a vote of the entire majority. So here's my note here, that member A could have provided notice of her intent. She said she wasn't going to make the motion then, but she could have made the notice to do that, which would have reduced the vote requirement from a 2/3 to a majority. Not that most of these things are ever very controversial when you're talking about meeting minutes, but notice is important if you're going to amend something previously adopted, like, we're going to donate money to somebody or something like that. Question 8. During the meeting when the treasurer reported the club's financial status, A, the chair appropriately handled the report as no action by the assembly was required. B, a motion should have been made to approve the treasurer's report. C, the president should have referred the report back to the fundraising committee for approval. Or D, the report was an incomplete financial report as required by RONR. And the chair appropriately handled the report.
Yep.
We recently, in my HOA, changed management companies, and the new management company came to our first meeting in January. And after we heard the treasurer's report, the two people from the management company said, "Aren't you guys going to approve that?"
Yeah.
Said,
No.
Well, we think you should. And I said, well, I think we shouldn't. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Because it has to be audited before you can approve it.
Question 9, and here we've got a copy of the minutes again. Which statement is correct regarding the August meeting minutes? And really, we're talking about down here at the bottom. A, the president should have signed it. B, they were appropriately signed. C, the words respectfully submitted should have preceded the signature. Or D, the email address of the secretary should have been included. And why not her phone number too? I don't know. So
Amazing.
they were appropriately signed.
Yeah.
Yeah. The respectfully submitted, some people still do that. I see it on occasion, but not
But Robert says no.
Yeah. Question 10, we're halfway done here. According to RONR, which of the following should be included in the minutes? The name of the seconder A. B, secretary's summary of the members' debate. C, a summary of the guest speaker's comment. Or D, the nature of the assembly that went into the committee of the whole. Now, we haven't really talked about committee of the whole much, but that's the one that is supposed to be included in the minutes. The proceedings of a committee of the whole or a quasi-committee of the whole should not be entered into the minutes. The proceedings shouldn't be, but the fact that the assembly went into the committee of the whole should be in the report.
Yep.
I've never been involved in an organization that had committee of the whole, but I've watched our state senators and representatives and know that they do that on occasion, just to get a little less formal.
You have to come to an ASAP meeting, annual meeting. We have done that there.
Oh, okay.
We've done that.
Yeah. All right. Question 11. According to RONR, which of the following should not be included in the minutes? The count of all 2/3 votes taken, a count ordered on the main motion, the results of a ballot vote, or the names of members voting on each side during a roll call vote. We don't have to put the count of 2/3 votes taken. If it's a majority or 2/3 vote, then the fact that it passed should be enough. But if it's been ordered for a count or by ballot, the number of votes on each side should be entered. And here's a detail that I hadn't really looked at very closely before, but if voting is by roll call, the names of those voting on each side and those answering present, which is basically an abstention, should be entered in order to determine that there is indeed a quorum present for the vote. So that's the purpose of that. Yes, was there a question?
No, it's Marie.
Yeah.
It depends. Oh, the rules, because sometimes it's those voting, 2/3 of those voting, and not the members present.
True.
So you have to be careful on that one. What is the policy or procedure of the group that's meeting? And it's usually 2/3 of those voting.
It's kind of interesting. I actually recently had a back and forth email exchange with Al because I found a part of the Arizona Revised Statutes in Title 10, which covers nonprofit corporations, that says that in order for something to pass, the majority of the directors present have to vote in favor. So it says, kind of regardless of what your bylaws say, that in order for something to pass at a board meeting, the majority of the directors present have to be there. So in some cases, we have 5 board members. If our, Vice President Julia is asking about something that, affects her property, and she abstains because she has a conflict of interest, and if one of the other members then says, I don't really know enough about this to vote, and there's only 3 people left, and the vote is 2-1, it doesn't pass.
Correct. Like I said, a board meeting, that's where I said you have to, where are you at what meeting?
Right.
At a general meeting,
Right.
it'll be 2/3 of those voting.
Yep.
But board meetings are separate rules.
Right. Yeah,
Yes, you have
that
to
was
be
interesting.
careful what meeting you're at.
I've looked at, that section, several times over the last 3 years I've been on a board, and that's the first time I've noticed that. So that was pretty interesting. All right, question 12. If the minutes of the August meeting were sent out to all members electronically with the agenda for the September meeting, which of the following statements is true? Here you go, Michael. This answers your question. A, the minutes of the August meeting must be read at the September meeting. B, a formal motion is required to eliminate the reading of the August minutes at the September meeting. C, the August meeting minutes do not have to be read at the September meeting before they approved. Or D, the minutes of the August meeting must be shared as an electronic file document at the meeting on flash drives.
Wow.
So yes, there's no requirement because everyone should know that they've been distributed, and
Right.
the real question is, have they ever really looked at it or not?
Have they read them?
Yeah, it's always the question. Here's the real reference, and I like that this information that I have here is not actually taken directly out of the book. It's actually taken out of the CD that I have, which has very convenient references. When you see a page reference, you can click on it and go directly to the reference, which to me is really, it's a time saver. And so the practice of sending it has some advantages and disadvantages. I like the text that they include in here. Sometimes people will get a copy in their thing and they'll keep it thinking that that is the minutes, but it's not the minutes, it really is draft. And I go to some pain to make sure that the copy that I put in our minutes is clearly marked with one of those watermarks across the banner that says draft, so no one will be confused. Question 13. Assume your state FFA association holds a delegate business meeting during the annual state FFA convention. I think that's supposed to be, how are the minutes of the delegate business meeting approved? So you've got a delegate meeting at the state convention. How are the minutes of the delegate meeting approved? A, the newly elected FFA officers approve the minutes. B, the state FFA advisor approves the minutes. C, the delegate body should appoint a minutes approval committee to approve the minutes. Or D, the minutes are approved at the next delegate business meeting. And the answer there is C. So
yes.
Yes.
Definitely.
So in that particular case, it's because it will be more than a quarterly time interval before that group would meet again. And, you can't just let those go. And this is something that I have tried now 3 years in a row to get our association to do, and nobody's really interested in doing all of that. So they just give it to the management company, and the management company says, yeah, we'll just publish it. Okay, whatever. Sometimes you can't fight. Pick your battles.
Pick your battles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Question 14. During the meeting, a member rose to a request for information. Which of the following is true? A, the request for information is included in the minutes. B, the request for information and the response is included in the minutes. B, the request for information is not included in the minutes. Or D, the request for information is included in the minutes if it has an effect on the vote of the motion. And a request for information's never included in the minutes.
Yeah.
Here's the body of information, complete a separate paragraph for all of these things. Request for information is not one of them. Points of order, variety of things, but not requests for information. So during the meeting, a member rose to a point of order. Which of the following is true? So a little different here. A, the chair's opinion on the point of order should be included in the minutes. B, the point of order is not included in the minutes. C, the chair's ruling with his rationale should be included in the minutes. Or D, the point of order should not be included in the minutes because it was lost. Chair's ruling with the rationale should be included in the minutes. All points of order and appeals, whether sustained or lost, together with the reasons given by the chair for his or her ruling. Anybody remember what the rationale for having that rationale in there is? The ruling on points of order can actually set precedent for future meetings and future decisions. Well, the president three meetings ago heard that very same point of order and ruled this way. And so that's why the rationale for those things are supposed to be included in the meeting minutes.
So they are included in the meeting minutes.
Yes, for a point of order.
Point of order, okay.
Not a point of information.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if you were paying close attention enough here, but during the meeting, a motion was adopted ordering a counted vote on the main motion. What was the result of the vote? Anybody remember?
Was it 6-3?
It was
Yeah.
6-3. Yeah.
Yep.
That this was a memory test more than anything else. When a count has been entered, the number of votes on each side should be entered into the minutes.
Yeah.
According to RONR, it's recommended that the approved minutes of organization meetings should be kept in the following manner. A, an electronic file stored on the organization computer system. B, an electronic file available on the cloud like Google Drive or Dropbox. Can you imagine that being an RONR? C, as a hard copy in a substantial book or binder. Or D, as a hard copy in a separate file folder for each meeting. And this is one of those tests that if you answer C most of the time, you'll get it right.
Yeah.
A hard copy. Somewhere, because, people can delete files on shared drives.
Good point.
Yep.
Question 18, almost there here. During the meeting, member C gave notice of his intent to make a motion at the November meeting. What motions did the member give notice for? Anybody remember? It was actually a she, I believe. She was going to rescind, I believe, a previous decision to do some sort of a fundraiser event or something. So all notices of motions are supposed to be recorded in the meeting minutes. Pretty simple. Question 19. After the minutes have been read and approved, which of the following should occur? A, the president should sign and date the minutes. B, the word approved should be added following the secretary's initials and date. C, the minutes should be sent electronically to all members. Or D, the secretary should tweet them out with the appropriate organization.
Okay.
I love D.
I love that. Yeah, we're really with it.
I
So the wording of this to me doesn't quite follow the actual text. When the minutes are approved, the word approved and the secretary's initials and date should be written below them. In other words, below the signature block is, I think, what they're referring to. So approved and the secretary's initials and the date they were approved.
Yep.
Okay, last but not least, when do the minutes of a meeting become the official record of the proceedings of the organization? A, when the secretary sends the draft minutes out to all members with the agenda for the next meeting. B, when the minutes are approved by the members at the next regular meeting. C, at the close of the meeting at which the secretary recorded the meeting minutes. Or D, when the corrected and approved minutes are printed and sent to all members.
B.
And they're approved when they are approved.
Mhm.
When they're approved, they're official. And approved as corrected, even if without any formal vote. The only proper way to object to the approval is to offer a correction. All right. Anybody have any questions on the material that we covered?
I think this
No,
is
but thank you
amazing.
very much for doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I thought it went very well, and everybody could see.
Yeah.
The program went really well.
Good. Good.
And I like the material because the minute, most of the time, that's where you have your problem too. Nobody
Right.
can remember what was said in the minutes if it wasn't recorded right or.
Madam President, that concludes my program.